Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariba, and earlier today we actually got the first trailer for Aquaman 2. It's been quite a long wait for it. I feel like it's like the one thing everyone has been requesting for such a long time. Of course, it doesn't come without a lot of the challenges that this film has faced since the first movie has came out. I think the first movie came out roughly around 2017, 2018. So it's been about 6-7 years since, no, it's been about like 5-6 years since that movie came out, and everyone has been waiting for this film. I'll talk about my feelings about the film in a second, but I think it's worth talking about a lot of things that have been happening behind the scenes for this movie. For one thing, like, this film has been martyred with delays. It's been quite an adventure with that. I believe the movie was supposed to have came out, I think, last year, of course. The reason why it didn't is probably as a result of the pandemic, so they pushed it. And then of course now when we're looking into this film, like, a lot of people are talking about the one thing, and that is regarding Amber Heard. If you're very aware of the whole, very publicized trial between Johnny Depp and Heard, that became a really big thing going into Aquaman 2, how much he's going to appear in it. There's been a lot of this rumor mill that's been going on behind the scenes as well. It's been quite a difficult journey for this film and trying to get that out, but it seems as if we're finally starting to see this film coming to theaters very soon. Like, I mean, there was even a point, I believe, that there were discussions of pushing this movie like even further into the future because of the whole strike, but now it seems as if at least in Warner Brothers' minds, they're set on with getting this movie out, of course. Again, another thing we have to think about is I think this is probably the final film that we have before we go right into the transition to this new phase of the DCU. I think this is the last one that we have left of what remains kind of the remnants of the previous DCU phase. And then after that, it's going to be everything under James Gunn, Peter Safran's leadership, their creations of what they want to move forward with the whole DCU franchise. That means, like, having the upcoming Superman Legacy movie that, we don't know when that's going to come out, but that's probably going to be the launch of this new phase of DCU. And of course, there's been a lot of questions about what's going to happen with Jason Momoa, because, everyone loves Jason Momoa as Aquaman. There's been questions about whether or not he's going to be playing Lobo in the future. There's been a lot of things that are going on with this film that it's just really hard to keep up. But now that we are getting at least one thing settled, and that is that this movie is going to be coming out by this December. We finally got the first trailer for it. We'll see how it all goes. At least for me, when it comes to Aquaman, at least from my recollection of watching the first movie, because I actually saw the movie, I believe, in advanced screening. I thought it was all right. I wasn't too highly fond of it, I would say. I wasn't like supremely, impressed by the film. I think that it had some moments, it had some things worked out, some things, and I think Jason Momoa is great as Aquaman. I think there was just maybe some story issues. I think a lot of the actual tone was a bit meh for me. But I'll still keep my mind open going into Aquaman 2 and, seeing how things work out, how they're going to not just really handle a lot of things that have been happening in terms of the things that have been going on behind the scenes, but also what this could imply going into DCU. Like, again, if there's any hint of what could happen for Jason Momoa and for the Aquaman, standalone series. But yeah, I think we'll see how it all goes, right? I think that it's really tough to really determine what's going to happen with the DCU, especially with everything that's going on, again, with the whole reboot of the universe. But yeah, but in a matter of time, right? In the meantime, right? I think what matters is that we're going to have a new movie. We finally got a trailer for Aquaman 2. So without further ado, let's get right down into the first trailer for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Lloyd. A wanderer with no home. But now, I'm a husband and a father.
Oh, okay.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I don't know how you did it, Pops. My job was a little less stressful than yours.
Oh yeah, I finally got a job. I'm the king of Atlantis. $500 million people from every known species in the sea call this place home. But that doesn't mean they all like me.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear. I'm gonna murder his family and burn his kingdom to ash.
He must be stopped, or a global meltdown is imminent.
I think I know someone who might be able to help us. Ooh, you look rough.
Good job, little brother. High five.
Do not call me brother. I cannot believe you let this happen.
Yeah, well, I hate this job.
True king builds bridges, right?
True king builds bridges.
We need to find Manta.
He's different now. He's stronger than before.
It's the Black Trident. During King Atlan's time, there were 7 kingdoms. And the Trident was a curse upon them all.
The Trident's dark magic is spreading.
He means to end the bloodline.
I don't know what lies ahead, but we can't leave our children in a world without hope.
You're not as bad at this as you think. If you lead, the 7 kingdoms will follow.
So that was the trailer for Aquaman 2, and there's a couple of things to dissect for sure. The one thing that definitely caught my attention is the fact that they mentioned right away in the beginning, Arthur has a family now. So he is now a father, seemingly a husband to Mira. And that's the most interesting part, because I know there's a whole discussion right there about how much Amber Heard will be in this movie, because she does play Mira. She appeared frequently in the first one. There's been a lot of conflicting reports about her actual appearance in the movie for this one. So definitely a lot of questions going into this film, like with the whole situation with Amber Heard. The fact that, again, the arc does jump on with the fact that he is a family man is definitely a big one. So I wonder what's going to happen with that. So that was just one thing I really wanted to get out of the way, just because that is definitely one aspect to kind of be thinking about. That's going to probably be the biggest question going into this film, just that whole aspect. Of course, it makes sense why they're going in that route, in that trajectory with Arthur's story, because it seems right here, like they say right away that the whole point of, what was it, his character, Black Manta, because we did see the character way back in the first film. He was there in the very first, sequence of his character, and I believe his father as well. And it was very clear that he was going to return as the villain for the second one to get revenge. And it does seem as if he is going to really go on this vengeful tale. And that means having to target Arthur's family. So it makes sense how and why they're going in that whole family route, like trying to make the whole family aspect kind of the risk of it all, his weakness. And so it makes a lot more sense going into this film, having to now see the actual first look of it, that they're going in that angle. Again, how they're going to handle it with the whole, Mira absence, going to be a big question, but we'll see how that goes. It does seem as if Nicole Kidman's going to be very involved in this film as well. There's a lot of snippets of her in some parts of the trailer. Of course, the one thing that is interesting is the fact that we do get to see Arthur kind of reconcile with his half-brother, because we do know the whole aspect of what happened in the first film. One of the reasons why the first film even happened in the first place, because of this brotherly dynamic. There was this conflict between them. The fact that, because technically speaking, Arthur is more like the rightful, or I guess the better ruler of the sea and all that sort of stuff, that there was definitely that conflict between them. So his brother was definitely more of the antagonist, was more of the primary antagonist there. Here it seems that they're going to kind of in some case try to make up from what happened in the first film. It does seem as if Patrick Wilson's character was in exile as a result of the first film, but now it seems as if he's gonna get this redemption arc. Definitely a lot of interesting things going on in this film with how they're trying to approach a lot of things, bring a lot of that family aspect into the story, because that seems to be very integral into Arthur's whole arc. And even in one case, I believe that was also seen in the teaser trailer about a couple days ago, but they do show one sequence in the actual trailer where his house happens to be in flames. So I would imagine that there's something is going to happen to his father. That's probably going to be a really big catalyst to what's going to happen for the rest of the film. So there's a lot of things you can definitely pinpoint. It does seem as if it does go it goes pretty deep into what the premise of the film is going to be about. It's going to be very, heavy on a lot of the family aspects, a lot of the family themes in this one, which, I mean, I feel like it's really expected, especially if you look at the first film too. Lots of risk, lots of things that they're going to handle, lots of, drama as well as a possible heartbreak. But I also feel like in this trailer that you get the sense of a little bit of that cocky comedy that we saw from the first film, like the lightheartedness. Like there's even one part you can see in the trailer where he's trying to have a bit of this funny moment with his brother, and his brother's like, no, I'm not having it, no. Well, I mean, it's gonna be a very interesting tale. Like, as I said before, I thought the first film was okay. It's not my favorite. A lot of this just because of the whole like tone of the film, that it kind of goes a bit too more on like the cheesy side, and sometimes even a little bit on the silliness. But hopefully, because of the fact that they are bringing a little bit more of this oomph on the actual premise, again, bringing in the whole family factor, that will actually enhance the risk for Arthur's next venture, that could maybe add a little bit of kind of the suspense going into the film. So, but yeah, I think that it seems promising. I'm going to still keep my judgment for it, just because, again, as I said before, I wasn't the biggest fan of Aquaman, the first one that came out. And of course, just in general, DCU is kind of just like a hit or miss with me. And this is going to be the last one, right? I believe this is going to be the last that is left, the last remnants of the DCU that is left. And after that, it's going to be James Gunn. Like, it's going to be him, Peter Safran, taking over the DCU. It's going to be under their complete control. They're going to control the story. They're going to control the narrative. They're going to control who is and is not in the actual universe. I mean, if there's anything, hopefully we'll at least. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Jason Momoa, of course. Like, we don't know if he's still going to continue, if they're going to still keep him on. Is he going to be Lobo? We don't know. There's a lot of that's been going around, but we'll see how that goes. Even if this could be the last of the Aquaman, standalone movies, or at least the movie series, hopefully this will at least allow Jason Momoa to go off with a bang with the character. I think he has been a pretty good, I guess you can say, like, a pretty good casting for the role. I think he has really embodied the characters in ways that he feels really comfortable with. I think that he's really done what he needed to do to really capture the essence of the character. I think that's definitely been the one highlight in regards of the Aquaman series. So we'll see how that goes, right? This movie's going to come out in December. It seems as if, Warner Bros. Is adamant about keeping this movie at least scheduled that it is as of right now. Even with the whole strikes that are going on, it seems as if they want to get this out as soon as possible, probably because of the fact, again, they need to reboot the whole universe with James Gunn's vision in mind. But yeah, I think it looks promising. Maybe it'll end off with a bang. I mean, I'm not saying I'm too ecstatic. I'm too, excited about it. But I will say this. I think it's a really good trailer that really gives off the vibes that it needs to really kind of get us intrigued with what could be the next phase of Arthur's arc. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think that's all I have to say about Aquaman 2 trailer. I think, again, there's a lot of potential to it, knowing how they are handling a lot of the story for it. Yeah, Abdul Mateen looks amazing though. I mean, I feel like he is probably one of the rising stars out there. He continues to really just nail all the roles that he's ever really played. I mean, he's played Manhattan in the Watchmen series. Here he is playing an antagonist, and I feel like he's definitely been a really good addition. I feel like he's someone who I've really been keeping an eye on, just because he is really able to exude sort of this energy that is just undeniable. So that's definitely one thing I cannot wait to see. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this trailer. What are your thoughts about this Aquaman 2 trailer? Are you excited that it's finally coming out? It's been moved so many times, it's been delayed so many times, and now it seems as if Warner Bros. Is really, sticking to this date now, December 20th. Are you excited? Are you happy that we finally got a first trailer for the movie? What are your thoughts about having seen the actual trailer now? Are you intrigued? Do you think this could be a promising pickup from what we saw in the first film? What do you think about the whole situation with how they're trying to add a bit of this family angle to the story, knowing that, Arthur now is a father and seemingly a husband? What this could imply for Amber Heard? I mean, lots of questions about that. Do you think we will see a little bit of Amber Heard in this movie? Maybe, maybe not. What are some theories, speculations you have with regards to what this film could really dive into? And again, what do you think about the whole overall just idea of the fact that DC is going to kind of be rebooting soon? This could be the end of it right here. This could be the last remnants of it. Let me know your comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe.